Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're gonna be taking a look at r/Surviving Infidelity, where OP is finally waking up. Let's begin. Incredibly lost and need someone to talk to. Posted by Reddit user WoDude.
For starters, I really did not mean for this to be so long. I understand if no one ends up reading this. I really just needed to vent as I don't have anyone I feel I can talk about this with. This started as a post to seek support, but now I am just going to use it to show my therapist, and I think I captured the situation and my feelings really well. For context, I am 23 and my unmarried partner is 22. We started dating in January of 2022. November of last year we had a child together. This wasn't planned, nor did we think this was a good idea. However, she is very against abortion and did not know how doing that would affect her mental health. She made it clear she was having it regardless of my opinion or presence. My choices were either to leave both of them or stay and try my best in both the relationship and fatherhood. We were madly in love at this point, so I had a lot of faith. Regardless, this isn't what's causing me turmoil. I've come to terms with it, and my daughter is the most beautiful, cute, and lovely thing I could ever have imagined. I want the best for her. We both live together, recently started splitting rent and split finances fairly good. We just started a joint savings account together in hopes of building a bigger emergency savings. To my naive perspective, things were going really good. Our daughter started daycare early to give both of us the ability to work or time together if we don't have work. I feel like we have gotten into a rhythm and are doing good as partners and parents. I will admit that I have gotten lazy in the relationship. Stopped doing the things we did in the honeymoon stage. I think this is because I felt comfortable, stable, and felt I didn't need to do these small things that I didn't think mattered to her. I didn't even think she noticed, but she did, and maybe has made her a little depressed. She recently admitted that this has made her feel lonely in the relationship. She also feels lonely because she does not have a lot of friends, let alone really close friends. To cope with this, she has been trying to go out more on her own while I am at work, to cafes, getting food, etc. I have been very supportive of this. The problem is recently she went out to a restaurant and accidentally got pretty drunk. I say accidentally because she hasn't drank any alcohol for a while due to the pregnancy and breastfeeding, which she has now stopped. Before this, she also had a pretty low tolerance and gets drunk fast. Before the pregnancy, we would love to enjoy a bottle of soju with our meals, and it was never an issue. I think she wanted to experience that again and had one with her meal. She was excited to be able to drink again and didn't drink much water and had 2 bottles with her food. This caused her to get very drunk and the waiter took her keys. I had to drive to her after work and attempt to bring her home, which was very difficult, as she was very drunk and stumbling, resisting, yelling for one more, etc. I did get her home safe, but this experience really scarred me, as I've never seen her like this before in the middle of the day, let alone all by herself. I want to suggest she talks to a therapist for her behavior. However, I don't really get a chance to talk to her about this because I want to wait until the next day until she is sober. I have work early in the morning, so I plan on talking about this when I get out of work. As I am leaving work, she asks if I can pick up our daughter from daycare, which she usually does. I have no problem doing this, but I check her location out of curiosity of why she can't. She turned her location off. This is highly unusual, and I immediately start overthinking and think she either is drunk somewhere again or worse. I call her multiple times as I am freaking out driving and she doesn't answer. She eventually answers and tells me she is going to New York to distress. I am really worried about her due to what happened the day before and beg her to turn around and come home so we can talk. I am basically crying at this point and begging her to come home. I even tell her we can go together as a family and have a good time as it is Friday now. I tell her I am concerned about her and her well-being, but she says she is okay. She says she is almost there and doesn't want to waste time turning around, so she's still going. I beg more, but it's apparent she isn't turning around, so I try and calm down and let her do her thing. She agrees to turn her location back on and to not stay out too late or to drink at all. The day goes by and now it is almost midnight and she still isn't back or left yet. So I call her many times to no answer. I see her location and she is in the same place for a long time. I am worried sick at this point, thinking the worst situations and even thinking about just driving there to try and find her. She eventually texts back at like 2 a.m. and says she is fine but tired and doesn't want to talk. I beg her to call, but she refuses, and eventually we both go to sleep. The next morning she returns home and admits she cheated on me. She ended up going to a bar, drinking a bit, and then home with someone. We then both cry for a long time, and she says how much she regrets it and how sad she has been feeling, and how much she loves me and how she wants to be with me forever and has so much regret and shame. I know that I should leave her, but it's so hard. We had so many incredible memories and plans for the future. We truly seemed like each other's people forever. I also don't want to split up for the sake of our daughter. Parenthood would be so much harder if we were split up. We really help each other a lot. I have been so in love with her and I am so scared of losing her from my life. She has been my rock. I love waking up next to her and experiencing life together. We have the same goofy sense of humor. We get annoyed at each other sometimes, but it feels like I would still rather have 100 bad days with her than a good day without her. We share so much hope and plans for our daughter. I know when reading this you will have a certain image of her and may not believe this next part. But I know her and can see how much despair, shame and regret she has about what she did. I can see her hurting so much about what she did and how she hurt me. We eventually agree to try everything we can to be able to heal, forgive, and move on from this.
That's stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid!
We have a rough couple of days after, but there's a glimpse of hope. We share a few laughs which seemed like an impossible thing a day before. I take a day off work and we spend it together driving around and eventually getting food and watching a movie. When we finish the movie, we pick up our daughter from daycare and go home. I take a nap because I am very tired. I wake up to her saying that she's going back to NYC tonight to distress.
I feel like we've been here before. Have we been here before?
I immediately think this is some kind of sick joke or some kind of test. She explains that she wants to clear her head and walk around. She says that she used to go there a lot to do just that when she was sad or lonely, so this might help her out mentally. She says it has nothing to do with the guy and just wants to go there to clear her mind and think.
Oh my god, this is happening again.
I am very resistant to this and ask that she goes literally anywhere else. I suggest she goes somewhere closer to us, but she says that NY has a lot of meaning to her. I say that she hasn't earned my trust back yet. And she says that she will keep her location on and promise to answer any and every phone call or text. She swears it's not to do with the guy and that NY is a big place and she genuinely just wants to walk around. I then suggest that we all go together, but she says that it is late and I have work tomorrow, which is all true to be fair. I ask her if there's any other reason to go there besides walking around, like meeting up with anyone. She says no. She started to get upset and says it feels like I have a chain around her and I'm always going to hold her infidelity over her. But to me it's only been 3 days. I ask her to sympathize how going to NY might be a sore spot for me. It's clear that I can't stop her at that point and just tell her to hurry up and go now so she doesn't come home too late. She reassures me that she is okay and to call as many times as I want. I obviously am not stupid enough to not be anxious or suspect anything. But I am so tired at that point of arguing and crying. When she gets to NY, I immediately notice her location. It is the same location as when she first went to NY. I know this because I was staring at it for hours last time wondering if she was alright or if she was moving. This absolutely breaks me. She lied again. I don't know if it's the guy's location, but at that point I don't even care if it isn't. It's the lying that's the issue. I call her and at first play dumb. I ask her where she's going. She says to get some tea. I ask her how parking was and she says fine. Then I said you just parked somewhere random. And she said yeah, as there was traffic. I then confront her and tell her I know it's the same place as last time. She then tries to lie by saying that she's literally just walking around. Eventually, she admits that she's meeting up with some friends she met online. Remember when I said she didn't have many friends? She has been trying to find friends on online language exchange programs, which I have no problem with and support. She explains that these are the friends and she just wanted to go out and feel involved. She doesn't say if her friends are guys or girls, but it really doesn't matter. She says she didn't want to tell me because she knew I would be upset and overreact when it's really just her friends and not the guy. The thing is, even if I had insurmountable proof that she was just meeting up with platonic friends, it's the lying that hurts, especially so soon after she cheated 3 days ago. When I confronted her, she seemed sorry she lied but doesn't feel like I should be upset because it's just her friends. I'm feeling pretty done at this point, so I call her immediately as she arrives and I say to her on the phone, "Come home now and explain this all to me and maybe we still have chance together." Honestly, I am just saying this to see if she cares about our relationship enough to at least come home now, despite the fact that she just drove all that way. I am not sure if she entirely hears me but eventually hangs up because I start swearing. Nothing directly at her, but things like how could you fucking do this, mainly just adding fucking in between words, nothing aimed at her. We text back and forth and she says things like, "All I wanted to do was go out, I told you where I am." Then starts pleading that I forgive her and still love her and won't take her daughter away from her. At this point I am mad. Then her phone dies, but to me it looks like she turned it off. I start overthinking again and feel a pit in my stomach that she might hurt herself and do something crazy. I feel like maybe I went a little too hard on her, or maybe should have waited until she was home and close by before getting angry. Eventually her phone charges and we text again. She's talking to her friends and venting now and stays a bit more. After arguing over text, she says that maybe she should just stay the night if we are just going to go back and forth. And I am so angry at this and the fact that she still hasn't left that I just say okay fine and she ends up staying. Now it is the day after, I am at work still and she is on the way back from NY. I have calmed down and am going to ask her to completely come clean and lay out every detail that happened. To reassure all of you that are still here, yes, I do realize I need to leave her. This shows a pattern of lying and she has destroyed any bit of trust I had in her and showed no respect for my feelings. Like I said, I am mainly writing this to vent as I don't really have anyone I could talk to about things like this. She was that person. Knowing what I should do, it still breaks my heart so much. I can't imagine life without her. Good times or bad times, she has still been there and her presence alone brings me a sense of security, peace and love. A part of me wished I could just forget this and go back to normal. I feel like an idiot for falling so hard for her and moving too fast. We got promise rings and talked about our future so often. Even when we talked about our future, it was never an if more of a surefire thing. I don't know how I will deal with this extreme feeling of loneliness. She was my first love and I loved her so much. I think even despite what she did and the fact that I need to leave her, I still love her and always will. I know she loves me even if her actions didn't show it. I know it was all her, but it almost feels like something took over her and just destroyed everything. My world fell down in just a span of a couple of days. All my future plans and hopes for her and our family seem ruined. I do have a therapist session scheduled and I'm very excited for that. I hope I can truly heal and come out of this better. I don't know what the future holds regarding our child. We still need to discuss that. We both want the best for her. I wish I could have had her grow up with two solid parents and showed her that they had true unrelenting love for each other, as neither me nor her had that growing up. I appreciate the few of you that probably made it through this huge post. I really didn't mean for it to be this long, but once I started writing it wouldn't stop. I definitely plan on showing this to my therapist as well to help her understand the situation and my feelings. I am hoping for compassion but understand any tough love responses from you guys. I know I made really stupid and dumb choices regarding this and should have left sooner.
Okay, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. You're only 23, you donut. You don't want another 60 years of this kind of bullshit, especially for a relationship that is barely 1 year old. I would also highly suggest getting a paternity test. If this is a pattern behavior like you said, then it is completely reasonable to think that the kid is not yours. If you're not the father, challenge paternity. Get your name removed from the birth certificate. Trust me, you don't want to be stuck paying child support for another man's baby. It's time to grow a spine, OP, and you need to do it now. I'll be looking out for your final update, but until then, good luck. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.